Moza is on a roll right now after the release of the Lamborghini and the Vision GS wheel that I swear I saw somewhere else, but I also have launched this, the refresh of the FSR, the FSR2. Disclosure, the FSR2 was sent by Moza for review, and I also have an affiliate link with them if you want to help the channel out, but just like with any other video in this channel, Moza doesn't get to see the video beforehand. All opinions are my own and I get to say what I want. Word of warning, this part is really important. There are reports that in the Moza website there are credit cards being stolen. That means I would urge you, if you want to buy any Moza stuff, to do it via their official distributors and not by Moza website itself. If you should buy it through Moza website, you need to do it over PayPal or get just a single-use credit card. Contact your bank for more details about that. Moza with the FSR2, they wanted to update some of the features out of the old model, but keeping almost everything pretty much the same. So it is a 280mm sized 4mm wheel with plenty of buttons and a screen. With this iteration, they added a couple of extra pedals at the back, they updated the screen to have touch compatibility and added flags, and also updated the funky switches to be 7 ways, which to be honest is a feature that every wheel should have from the get-go, and I truly appreciate it. The rest somewhat carries over from the FSR. In terms of construction, it is an aluminum shell with a carbon front. It has 10 LED buttons, 5 12-position plastic rotaries, rev lights, flag lights. All LEDs will be adjustable via the software. They have not Alcantara handles, thank you very much. And inside the box there are also a set of stickers to customize the wheel to your pleasure. And one of the stars of the show is that the wheel will have a 4.3-inch screen with touch compatibility. All of this will be at the price of $699 or euros or 649 pounds. Also, the FSR2 is compatible with basically any wheelbase by using the Moza hub, using the provided RJ cable that it will be inside the box connecting to the back of the wheel. This hub costs about 35 pounds and comes with a male and quick release adapter. Most quick release adapters, that includes Asetek, Logitech, and probably others, except for Fanatec, will come with the regular pattern 6x70mm, so most quick releases will be compatible with this. In case of the Fanatec one, which I'm using with the Club Sport DD, you will need some sort of adapter plate. In this case, I'm using the sim racing machines that I've been using for a while with other projects as well, and it works really well. It is incredibly sturdy. What we have here is a wheel that in theory would be something that most of us will be looking for if we need something more advanced. A screen, lots of buttons, functionality, and all of that. However, there is a huge elephant in the room about this wheel that I'll be talking about in just a moment. But while you're there, don't forget to press like and subscribe. The build quality is really good, there's no rattles, everything is well assembled. The 280mm tend to be too small for my hands, but this wheel actually manipulates well for the size. Everything relevant is reachable, the clicks are nice, though I'd still prefer a stiffer shifter, but that's just preference. Ergonomics are excellent, I think. The only downside that I have found is that the thumb rotaries should have different indentations, as depending on the size of your thumb, the force necessary to activate it is too damn high and the thumb may slip. The buttons are long press but well stabilized, nice resistance at the top and a classic sound at the bottom. Some may prefer the KS type of buttons, and I can totally understand why. Also, that wheel has brighter buttons. Now, on the software, I think this is the biggest issue with the wheel. It really needs BitHouse to be used. Depending of your expectations, this can be a deal breaker, not because BitHouse with its features is bad, by all means it's okay. It's that the flexibility of SimHub, which is basically the norm in sim racing to be used, is really high, especially with the likes of a dashboard. At first use anyways, please calibrate all the pedals, otherwise you may see these buttons not being recognized. The software allows for customization of LEDs and comes with a few dashboards. You can also create your own or import some. though I haven't found any online for the FSR or any other wheel dashboards that Moza has. Also, a big tip, don't forget to activate your game at the pit house, and also don't forget to turn on the telemetry buttons individually. This is something that I found a little bit strange. It should be coming on by default. Okay, using this wheel is what I would expect from it. I've used Moza GSV1 extensively a few years ago when it launched, and as well tested the KS, which is a wheel I didn't particularly like because of the ergonomics, but I see a lot of value in it. The FSR2 feels like a smaller GS with the same overall great ergonomic characteristics. The handles feel great even at high torque, but they are on the slimmer side. The pedals feel well positioned with decent weight, and they don't feel uncomfortable at all. They're also at a decent distance. The wheel feels solid and most of the controls are well reachable. So the top 8 buttons, 2 thumb encoders and the funky switches. The rotaries are just a little bit out of reach, especially the 3 center ones, and the 2 center buttons need some juggling to be used. But that means the vast majority of controls are just there, so a very well designed ergonomic package. The LEDs could be a little bit brighter, all of them, but they aren't necessarily weak. They produce good enough colors, though the LEDs are on the more muted side for the buttons, and they have been since the GSV1, much due to the type of button caps used. The KS, for example, has much brighter buttons. I also need to note one extra thing, which will be the rigidity of the system. I've tested this exclusively with the Club Sport DD Plus, which means in essence 2 quick releases. The Moza quick release is like a brick, and Fanatec's QR2 is like a brick, and the elongated steering shaft was super rigid with no flex detected. Even with the extra added weight of this solution, the smaller diameter of the FSR2 made up for no relevant loss of force feedback. Now, for the screen, which is basically the biggest thing about this, right? Otherwise you just get the GSV1. It is super responsive with great refresh rates, the colors are pretty good. Even the touchscreen is incredibly snappy going through the different screens. Moza, they say they have some sort of quad-core processor for this. Whatever it is inside, it is well paired to the hardware. However, this leads me to the next point and the elephant in the room. For me, the biggest issue is I don't like the exclusivity with the Moza Pit House software because that limits me to Pit House functionality, which, to be honest, with all it provides, it is a bit subpar compared to SimHub. While the flags do work, the dashboards are just so meh, especially when there are ones that are so much better out there that have custom screens, idle screens, mimic real car dashes, or do a little bit of everything like Lovely Dash does. Hopefully, some of these makers also export their dashes to Moza, but honestly, I'm really not holding my breath. Summing it all up, the FSR2 is an excellent wheel at an excellent price with excellent performance and features, but everything is kind of pushed back because of the lack of compatibility with something important for a lot of sim racers. That will be SimHub. But if you don't care about anything that at all and the features at the price will be good enough for you, the FSR2 is excellent even if you aren't in the Moza ecosystem, because honestly the Moza Hub comes incredibly clutch. Let us know below your thoughts about this wheel. Would you buy something like this even if it doesn't have SimHub compatibility? Let us know below, press like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.